Hello, I've come to see the Lord Mayor. Have you got an appointment? No, just an old friend passing by. Bit of a surprise. Can't wait to see her face. Well, she's just having a cup of tea. Just go in there and tell her that the doctor would like to see her, please. Doctor who? No, just the doctor. Tell her exactly that. The doctor. Hang on, tick. The Lord Mayor says, thank you for popping by, but she'd love to have a chat, but she's up to her eyes in paperwork. Perhaps if you could make an appointment for next week? She's fucking in the bed, isn't she? Yes, she is.
It's the late fucking off. Over and out. On my way. Oh my god. Leave the man alone! Margaret! Oh, Margaret! Who's on exit 4? That was Mickey. Sorry. Here I am. Mickey the idiot. I'll be there. She's not exactly gonna have fun with this shit. I gotta teleport. That's cheating. Now we're never gonna get her. Oh, well, we can stay in here though, can't we? Oh, fantastic.
Hello, Whovians, and welcome to my latest Doctor Who review, where today I review the penultimate Doctor Who story to star Christopher Eccleston as the 9th Doctor, Boomtown. This is the 11th episode of the first series of the new series of Doctor Who, and as I said, it is Christopher Eccleston's penultimate story as the 9th Doctor. So the basic plot of this is as follows. The 9th Doctor and his companions Rose Tyler and Jack Harkness travel to modern-day Cardiff and meet up with Rose's boyfriend, Mickey. There, they discover that their enemy, Blonfel-Foch Pasmede Slovene, is very much alive, if without an easy escape route from Earth, and is willing to rip apart the planet to ensure her freedom. So, Boomtown, this is a interesting story. I've always really liked Boomtown. I think watching it again today, I've realised I liked it probably a lot more as a kid, but I still do really enjoy this one. It's a good sequel story to Aliens of London World War III because we follow Margaret, or Blomfield-Foch, we'll just call her Margaret, it's just easier. We follow Margaret as the only survivor of the Downing Street attack at the end of that particular story. And this story is interesting because I think it opens up a lot of moral questions. This story is a story about essentially morality. We see constantly that the Doctor and Margaret question each other about, killing and, what the moral thing to do is. Margaret is trying to plead for her life in that dinner scene by saying that she spared that woman, and the Doctor doesn't believe that Margaret really has changed. And then Margaret turns that back on the Doctor and says, well, you're very good at playing with people's lives, you may as well be a god. So there's a very interesting ethical and moral debate that goes on between the Doctor and Margaret in that dinner scene, and I like the fact that it opens up the prospect that the Doctor, even though he is considered a hero, he has taken lives and he's meddled with people's lives, and Margaret is very much the same. And I like the message of the story in that, neither one of the characters are better or worse than each other. The Doctor and Margaret are almost mirror images of each other. I really think that dinner scene written by Russell T Davies is really well written. It really makes you, as a viewer, question the Doctor, but also you feel some kind of sympathy for Margaret. I mean, she's all alone now. Even though Margaret is technically a villain, in this particular story, there are no heroes and villains. It's very much a case of perspective. It's like, well, from her perspective, the Doctor destroyed her family, but from his perspective, Margaret tried to destroy the entire planet, and the Doctor is also on his own. He lost his own family. So you see where I'm coming from. It's a very three-dimensional argument, and I like the fact that it's very much ambiguous in that sense. You can't really hate Margaret for what she's doing, but then you can't really love the Doctor for what he's doing either. So I really like that. I think it's very clever. I'm not going to say that Boomtown is perfect. It isn't a 10 out of 10 masterpiece of an episode, but It's very entertaining. I do think including Mickey in the episode is kind of unnecessary. I never really quite understood why he's in it. Okay, yeah, relationship drama with Rose, but all of that kind of seems separate to the main plot. The scene where Mickey reveals he's going out with somebody else, and Rose acts all bitchy around him. I think Rose is a bit bitchy in this episode. I don't particularly think Rose is written well in this one. I'm with Mickey on this one. I think, Rose ran off with the doctor and left him and feeling like nothing. But the scene itself, which is well written, I think could have been placed in the previous Slitheen two-parter when they previously reunited. Because Mickey was accused of murdering Rose. So I think it would have felt more in place if it was in the Slitheen two-parter. Here it just feels like it's kind of added on. Like, Mickey just feels kind of forced into the story just for those reasons. Like, he doesn't get involved in the main story. He just kind of tags along and then has some relationship drama with Rose, and then he just leaves at the end. And the whole thing starts with him coming to bring her passport all the way to Cardiff. He travels all the way to Cardiff to bring her a passport. Yeah, kind of seems like a waste. I'm not dissing Noel Clarke. He's good in the role, and he performs it very well, but Mickey is unnecessary in this episode. I also think that Captain Jack doesn't really get much to do. He seems to be stuck in the TARDIS for most of the episode, but he does have some funny moments. I do quite like the moment when they're about to confront Margaret, and he's like, he takes control, and then the doctor's like, "Excuse me, who's in charge here?" He's like, "Sorry, awaiting orders, sir." "Right, here's the plan." Like you said, nice plan. Anything else? I thought that was quite a funny exchange between the Doctor and Jack. And it is interesting how the Doctor and Jack have now become a bit closer as friends, and I do quite like that, even though they have that little exchange at that point. Boomtown has a lot of laughs, actually. I think it is a very funny episode, particularly in the dinner scene when Margaret is trying to catch the Doctor out, when she tries to throw the poison dart and when she also tries to poison him, but the Doctor's obviously very prepared for this. But hands down, the funniest scene in this episode, and probably my favourite scene, one of my favourite scenes, is the chase scene, where the Doctor goes up to the office, which I obviously parodied at the beginning of the review. He chases Margaret out of the building. We also see Rose, Jack, and Mickey get involved in the chase as well. It's incredibly funny when Mickey falls over the bin. I love it, because obviously we will see Mickey grow so much as a character in the next series with David Tennant. He would gradually grow as a person. It's funny when, like, the Doctor's buzzing his screwdriver and Margaret just keeps running back and forth. See, this episode is much lighter than the previous one, and it is very funny, which I do appreciate. And I do like the story. I think the story is actually quite clever, the way that the extrapolator thing is underneath this power station, which Margaret is now the mayor of Cardiff, and she's heading this operation, and she's using the project to go wrong for the rift to open and for her to seize her chance to escape on this pan-dimensional surfboard, as they call it. And also it's interesting to note that the words Blythe Droog reappear, which translates to bad wolf, which obviously is the phrase that's been repeated over the course of the season, which is interesting. Christopher Eccleston is good as the Doctor here. He's quite funny and he's quite charming, and I love the scene with him and Margaret in the restaurant. I think that is one of the best executed scenes of his era. It's just so good, and like I said, the writing is interesting, how it opens up those moral and ethical questions, but also Eccleston just plays it so well, like he's holding back on something, and you can see with the expressions, like when they go for the close-ups, and Margaret says, like, "You're right, Doctor, sometimes you let one go," and you can just see the tension there. It's so good. Actually, I'm going to give a shout out to Annette Badland as Margaret. I think she's excellent in this story. I mean, she got a few good scenes in the earlier two-parter of the season, but it's nice to have her back, and I very much like her here in this one. She's very good. And there's that funny line she says when she's like, "This is persecution. Why can't you leave me alone? What did I ever do to you? You tried to kill me and destroy this entire planet. Apart from that." That's one of the funniest moments. The climax is pretty good, actually. I quite like the climax. It doesn't last, admittedly, that long, but the rift begins to open, and then Margaret comes back to the TARDIS with the Doctor, and then she grabs Rose by the neck, and she tries to escape on the extrapolator, but then the Doctor opens the TARDIS, and Margaret looks into the heart of the TARDIS, and then the Doctor gives her another chance to start over. And that's what Margaret wanted. She wanted a chance to better herself and prove that she could change, and the Doctor basically allows Margaret to be reincarnated, so she reappears as an egg, which is interesting. I think Boomtown is a good story, but I don't think it's anything amazing. It isn't the best of the season, but it's a nice sequel to the earlier two-parter, and there's some great performances. I kind of feel also that Billie Piper as Rose, she doesn't get as much to do in this one. She's good, but obviously, again, it's just mainly the relationship drama with Mickey, which I think is kind of unnecessary, to be honest. But she doesn't have a huge amount going on in the main body of the story, so I think she could have had a bit more to do as well. Also, I love the music by Maury Gold in this one, especially during that chase scene. The soundtrack is awesome. It's really up and pumping. So, overall, I'm going to give Boomtown a final score. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. It's got a few issues I have, but they're not major as such, and I don't think it's anything groundbreaking, but it's a good, solid episode. I know I forgot to mention, I do like seeing this Slitheen costume back. The practical effects are also really good, as well as the CGI skin suit transformation. I actually think the skin suit transformation is done very well in the toilet cubicle when Margaret is unzipping her skin suit, and the effect looks slightly cleaner, actually, I would say, than the earlier two-parter in this series. So yeah, and that's Christopher Eccleston's penultimate story. Not a bad one, to be fair. So next time, we come to Christopher Eccleston's final story as the Ninth Doctor, Bad Wolf Parting of the Ways, where we say goodbye to the Ninth Doctor. Yeah, after one series, but he decided to leave after one series, but oh well, there you go. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. What do you think of Boomtown? Please comment down below, let me know, and stay tuned next time for my review of Bad Wolf Parting of the Ways. So until next time, I'm Mr. Thomas11. See you soon. Bye for now.